Welcome to the Buck Brief. Lockdown, New York City, my friends. Not having to do with COVID this time, but trying to deal with the crime problem. Here we go. Daily Mail. New York City's subway soldiers, they're calling this. Kathy Hochul deploys nearly 1,000 National Guard troops for stop and search on Big Apple train network, New York City subway system. And Eric Adams is saying he's going to crack down on repeat violent offenders. But let's just start with this. Why are they sending 1,000 National Guard troops into the subway? Let's start with that. Why? They're sending 1,000 National Guard troops into the subway because crime is out of control. Why is crime out of control in New York City? Why has it gone up so much over the last 4 years or so? Because they decided that they were going to stop enforcing the law, actually stretching back into the de Blasio administration even before that, but that they were going to let more and more people who are criminals, who are career criminals, get away with more stuff. They were going to be more lenient on sentencing. They were going to take the approach that law enforcement is racist. The cops are racist. The enforcement of laws as a general proposition is racist. This is what BLM demanded. This is what the Democrats went along with. This is why we had a racial panic in this country in 2020. And it made everything worse for everyone, as I have said. It was a completely and utterly destructive movement based on lies. And that brings us now to what's going on with New York and putting 1,000 National Guard troops in the New York City subway system. Well, hold on a second. What is the National Guard going to do? This isn't really their job. They're not law enforcement officers. National Guard aren't really trained for this. So how exactly is this supposed to work? They're saying that they're going to start looking for, they're going to start doing random bag checks. Random bag checks. This will do precisely nothing. This isn't going to help. This isn't going to stop. First of all, a lot of the violence that occurs in the subway is not firearms related. It is people punching, biting, kicking, stabbing with any kind of sharp object. So they're not going to be able to stop the millions of people who get on the subway every day. But this is a bit like declaring the subway a gun-free zone. I'm sure, in fact, it is officially a gun-free zone in New York, but it's crazy. It's not going to do anything. They won't deal with, still, the real problem. And the real problem here is that the Democrats don't like the demographic profile of criminals, specifically in New York City. In essence, Democrats in New York feel that because there are too many black and Hispanic men who are incarcerated, because we know crimes committed they're committed by men. The law is not sexist, they say. It's racist, but it's not sexist. Why? 90% plus of violent crimes are committed by men. So does that make the law sexist, or does that just mean men commit more crimes? Anyway, isn't it interesting how that argument puts some clarity into things? But 90% of Rikers Island, the main prison for New York City, is black and Hispanic in terms of the inmate population. And they don't approve of that, or rather they want to find a way to change that, deny that reality. And so they stop sending people away for longer prison sentences. They stop prosecuting for offenses all the way down the line. And we have more violence and anarchy and the tyranny of government refusing to do its job, while not letting you defend yourself either. That's also a part of all this. And there are 38 people who were arrested for 1,000. This is from Eric Adams. 1,126 attacks on MTA workers in 2023. 38 people responsible for over 1,000 attacks. Now, just take this for a moment. What if, instead of harassing people like you and me when we go to New York, open your bag, sir, open your bag, ma'am, I'm not carrying my Uzi today, yay, right? Instead of going through that charade, which is what we're going to do, how about you just take those 38 people and you lock them up? You say, okay, you attacked an MTA worker one time. That's bad. You're going to get some prison time, but we're not going to ruin your life or take away all of your freedom over that one. You attack him the third time, the fifth time, the 10th time, you're going away. You're going away. 10, 20, 30 years, whatever it takes. 38 people. We're not New York has 8.6 million residents. 38 people responsible for over 1,000 attacks. Instead of just saying we're going to lock up the 38, it's let's have everybody open their handbags to look for the guns, because the guns are the problem. I own a lot of guns. I'm not a problem. I commit no crimes. Guns are not the problem. Criminals are the problem. 542 people last year. 542 people were arrested for 7,600 shoplifting crimes. Again, if you are one of these 542 career criminals, the way to handle this is lock them up. Take away their ability to continue to terrorize society. I'm sorry, shoplifting number 10 or number 50, you're going to spend 10 years in prison. Sorry, you're done. Or whatever the statute says. But you got to actually enforce these laws. Instead, they just say, no, we don't want to do it. We don't want to do it. And, doing bag checks is just harassing people who are innocent. Look, I understand there's going to be increased presence of law enforcement on the subway in general as well. That's a part of this. So, yeah, that will be helpful. But it should never have gotten to this point. That's the key here. It should have never happened. We shouldn't even be in this process of how do we clear out the subways. The last time I was on the New York City subway was, I don't know, maybe 6 or 8 months ago. And some guy was masturbating at women as they walked by. 9:30 a.m. Columbus Circle subway, just going for it right there in front of her. Didn't care. People say, "Oh, Buck, I should have what? I'm going to tackle the guy." Oh, oh my gosh, right-wing radio host. He wasn't wearing a MAGA hat. I'll tell you that. He didn't look like a Trump voter to me. So that it's just, I'm not going to get involved in that. Say, oh, go find a police officer. What? So I can try to say this guy. I mean, people are seeing it everywhere. The whole thing was just disgusting. But this happens in the subway system all the time. Looking for a gun on that guy wasn't going to do anything. So what are they really doing here? They just try to avoid the problem, which is that there are criminals and they need to be locked up. That's it. There are people who refuse to obey our laws, and they make life dangerous for all of us. They make life worse for all of us. They are chipping away at our society and our civilization, and they have to be put in a cage. That's it. That's it. It's not rocket science here. We're not doing brain surgery with this stuff. All right. Now let's talk about whether Trump should actually debate Biden, if that's going to happen or not. Changing gears here. Tunnel to Towers Foundation's Let Us Do Good Village in Land O'Lakes, Florida, is a community of about 100 homes being built for the foundation's program participants. Families are already living there, including a Gold Star family and the families of 2 severely injured veterans who live in new smart homes. The Let Us Do Good Village is a special place where together families can heal. It's a community where the children of our nation's fallen or catastrophically injured heroes can grow up together and support each other. It's all thanks to an extraordinary donation of many acres of land and your generosity. Help America's greatest heroes and their families heal together. Make the Let Us Do Good Village the first of many communities like it. With every mortgage-free home, the foundation makes good on its promise to do good and never forget 9/11 or the sacrifices our heroes have made for our country and our communities. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. That's T2T.org. Tunnel to Towers Foundation, T2T.org. A fantastic organization. I donate every month. Please, if you can, join me in that. It helps so much, and it's just a great entity, a great organization. All right, now we have... Sorry, I got fired up about that one. They ruined my city. They ruined my city. They really did. These idiot libs. I live in Florida now because of them. I live in Florida because of the idiot libs in New York. After a while, I just couldn't continue to support them with my tax dollars. Couldn't do it. And man, I love New York. I love New York. I really do. But the communists took over. They ruined things, and I'm hoping at some point I can go back, but I don't know. They seem to never really learn the lesson. All right. I got fired up about that. Now we shall talk about the debate situation for Trump, because this is all coming up now. I was going to talk to you about how the House has passed a $460 billion package to fund the 6 government agencies before the government shutdown. That just is happening, right now as I'm talking to you, and I sit here and say, I told you that the new Speaker of the House was not going to be any different from the old Speaker of the House in terms of what happens. And I was right. People yelled at me, no, you don't understand. There's a plan. They're going to replace Kevin McCarthy. It's all going to be awesome. No, it's not. No, it's not. And it's not. Same deal, same stuff, same things happening. I mean, I like the new speaker. Seems like a good guy, but this is the outcome you would have gotten with Kevin McCarthy. Full stop. Anyway, it's not even worth getting into. It's just, I told you that. If you go back and listen to the show, I told you at the time, people yell at me, oh, that's not true. 4D chess. You got to, yeah, right. Trump has come out and said that he wants to debate Biden anytime, anywhere, any place. And I will say, we got a caller on radio who said earlier in the week that Trump should do the State of the Union response. I actually like that idea because he could really call Biden out for this. Because I'm telling you right now, I've said it along, Biden's not going to debate Trump. He's not going to debate Trump. He's going to use the fact that Trump did not debate his primary rivals in order to avoid doing a Trump-Biden debate. Now, the only exception to this would be if they get so desperate in the polling that they really think that they need this to shake things up for Biden, meaning on Biden's behalf. And then maybe they would say, oh, fine, we'll have Biden go debate him. But the truth here is Joe Biden is a super weak candidate. They know it. And he is one scrambled eggs moment on stage away from this thing just being a total walk in the park for a Trump reelection, honestly. Now, maybe that doesn't happen, but this guy he's under too much strain. He is too old. It is appalling the Democrats have put him forward as their guy still. I've told you all along they will, and they would, and they have, and they are. So I saw this coming, as you know, but the fact that this is really where we are as a country, and now they're trying to say, if you listen to Mika and Joe over on MSNBC, Biden's in better condition than Trump mentally. It's like these people are out of their minds, honestly, or they're just such liars. They'll say anything for those paychecks to keep rolling. It's not even just about the paychecks, too. A lot of these rich media people, they don't really need the money. They want the money. They don't really need the money. They need the attention and the power they get from this. They need to feel important. That's really the drug for a lot of the people you see in the media that motivates them more than anything else. They want to be powerful. They want people to have to listen to them and to think what they say is important. And after a while, especially, you've got a bunch of like broken marriages and you've been through this show and that show and you've made a mess of your personal life and you're on some lib network. You've already, you've socked away 15 million or 30 million, even with all the alimony payments. What gets you going still? Being important, ego, narcissism. Honestly, that's what motivates so many of the people that do this stuff. It's not about the cause. It's not about the country, although they'll say that. It's just about themselves. And I know people might say, oh, well, look at you. You do a big radio show with Clay. I love what I do. I think what I do is truthful and is important. And I hope that it's useful to everyone who gives me the honor of listening to what I say or watching what I say. But I've also been a person who wasn't in the media at all, and I was very happy. I don't need media. I appreciate it. I love it. I don't need it. I could wake up and be a normal person who's just worried about his family and other things and be very happy in life. Some people are addicted to the attention that being in the media gives them. And you see a lot of that over at MSNBC and CNN. And that's why they'll say absolutely anything. So I still think that Trump is going to try to debate Biden and Biden's going to dodge him. But the dodge may eventually come to an end because if these poll numbers continue, Biden's going to need to debate Trump. At that point, maybe Trump says, not going to debate you. Probably the worst. Joe Biden, not going to debate him. Anyway, look, there are some people I know who are still wondering, why should I buy gold and silver? And I'll tell you why. Because if you look throughout history, I know right now people are into like crypto and other things. If you look throughout history, precious metals maintain value and are a store of value. And that's been true not for 10 years or 20 years. It's been true for hundreds, really thousands of years. Precious metals. And they can be a tangible currency you keep on hand as a bug out plan. Things get really crazy. Diversify your portfolio, a hedge against inflation, another reason to have precious metals. And as a store of value, because gold, as I said, increases in value over time. So you're paying attention to global events. You understand there's a lot of instability, and there's the chance that things could just really go to the crapper, honestly. And you want to be prepared. That's where having gold on hand makes sense. Gold and silver, by the way, two precious metals, the two premier precious metals. Nobody can predict the future, but you don't want to wait for it to happen to you. You want to take action today. The Oxford Gold Group are real pros at this. They make owning gold and silver simple and easy. Call the Oxford Gold Group right now. You may qualify for up to $10,000 in free precious metals. 833-995-GOLD. 833-995-GOLD. That's 833-995-GOLD. And that's it on the Buck Brief for today. I want to make sure that if you're listening to this, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/BuckBrief. Until YouTube kicks us off, we're going to try to have as much viewing there as we can. Also, we're on Rumble. For those of you who are Rumble people, check out the Buck Brief on Rumble. And until next time, shields high.